Okay, I think you have it up. There's Boris Johnson's chart. Now, I want to do another video because there are an uncanny amount of similarities between Boris Johnson and Donald Trump. Absolutely uncanny. I think I listed about 25 significant things between them. Now, lately, some people are saying that just as Donald Trump is not in the presidency at the moment for reasons that we can all guess, right? And many people say the same about Boris, that he was subject of some sort of nefarious plot to get rid of him, but that they're both going to be comeback kids because Boris fully intends to come back, and of course Trump fully intends to come back. So there's another similarity, but will that happen? Now, George Galloway was saying that he believes very strongly that because the Conservative base are so keen to have Boris back, even though, the MPs possibly aren't, he will be back at some stage and he's plotting his return. And George Galloway's instincts are usually pretty good on that. He's got a good political nose and he calls things usually quite accurately. So he thinks Boris will be back. He says maybe back to lead the Tories in opposition, because they're going to lose the next election or whatever, rather than leading them as prime minister, which would be an interesting prospect. Maybe Boris would love that, just to be throwing out his kind of very erudite, posh, classical studies, analogies and humour from in terms of being an opposition leader, rather than having the actual responsibility of running the country. Maybe. So I looked at his chart, and you know what? I just don't think so. I don't think so. For a start, let's have a look at this. Sun 28 degrees conjunct Venus 28 degrees in Gemini in the ninth house. This says to me is really superficial. It so much is for show. So into his own image, a bit schmarmy. Yeah. A bit egotistical, loves the whole show of the thing. He's a showman. That's probably why he'd like to be, on the opposition, rather than actually taking responsibility, because he loves to eke out of things, right? Talk his way out of things. He thinks he can talk his way out of anything, that he's got a charmed life or a cat with 9 lives. But as you know, Neptune is here in the final. Neptune is currently retrograde. It'll turn direct again on 22 degrees of Pisces, and then it'll kind of move back to directly square this position. Sun, of course, is ruling the 11th house of the House of Commons. Venus is ruling his ascendant, and also Taurus, which rules his 8th house. So because Neptune will be squaring that position, I don't fancy his chances coming back. I think the knives are ready to go in his back. 11th house is the house of friends. Duplicitous friends will be ready to spill the beans, to reveal confidences, and to help stab him in the back. Neptune square Venus ruling the ascendants says to me he hasn't got enough strength of direction, confidence and assertiveness to pull that off right now. He's all over the place, and he could be having issues with lack of discipline in his life in terms of diet, health, etc. That means he wouldn't have the necessarily stamina, energy or chutzpah to pull off that. Sun rules, what did we say? Sun rules the 11th. Oh, sorry, I hope I didn't say Venus ruled it. Anyway, Venus also rules Taurus the 8th. 8th, the house of finances. Are his finances in an absolute mess, or will things come to light about his finances that will bring him into disgrace in people's eyes and make it impossible for him to return to politics with any credibility? These are all possibilities, aren't they? Remember, in the chart of the UK, what we're having now is kind of similar to transits during the Profumo affair, so maybe he could be the person who's the subject of a big scandal, as I say, that would preclude him from entering back into politics. Let's just check the fixed signs. Of course, here Neptune in Scorpio is being triggered right now with Saturn in Aquarius, and also by Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus in Taurus is conjuncting his Jupiter opposite Neptune. That says to me he is spiraling out of control. Again, his finances are in a total mess. There's a huge amount of spending. No doubt there's a lot of money coming in, because some people are saying he might go on to be head of NATO, or he might go on to do speaking tours. I think speaking tours are more it. I don't think he's the frame of mind to have a job like NATO. But look, there's a lot going on. Lots of activity in the 8th house. Obviously tons of money pouring in from somewhere. And it's kind of going out as quick as it comes in, because there's lots of ill-advised spending and craziness going on there too. again, this shows a massive lack of discipline. And as I say, a spiral of going out of control. So really don't see this person being able to return to office. He's having a Saturn return next year because Saturn will come into Pisces and turn retrograde on exactly his Saturn. So that indicates the end of one major phase of his life, possibly the end of his political life, and he'll be moving into a new phase that will involve something totally different. It's almost like he's fulfilled his purpose in the last 28 years. He became Prime Minister, he fulfilled that, he ticked that box, and he's going to move into something else. So if he did mount a comeback next year, Saturn going retrograde on Saturn would probably preclude that, or maybe family issues. Saturn rules the 4th house, would make it impossible. Saturn is in the 1st. Maybe he's going to have another child at that point as well. Who knows? So my verdict on Boris is that he ain't coming back. Yeah, I could be wrong, but my verdict is he won't be coming back. And even if he wants to, and he starts putting on the moves to, someone in the background going to see he doesn't. Maybe it's Michael Gove, because he seems to have the knife out for everybody. He seems to be the political Houdini who decides everyone's fate on that wheel of fortune. And as we know, he goes to Bilderberger. So maybe Michael Gove is going to come in after Liz Truss. I will have to consider that, because as you know, we don't expect Liz Truss to last. She either won't last this year, as I mentioned in the UK chart, major turmoil in January, which will mean huge escalation in Ukraine during that time. But I think that'll be the time when the British economy really tanks, pound plummets, massive inflation, and when the government will be brought down. Unless the government falls sooner, and that's when we have a general election, leading to more instability, because, you know, Keir Starmer's every bit as bad, and we don't know if he will be able to command a working majority or command enough respect amongst the country to be an effective leader. So it's all changed in the UK. Hope you enjoyed those readings. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. And yeah. And if you, I know I've got some readings to do, and I'm definitely going to get to those. I'm just like in a tailspin right now. There's so much going on to finish all my horoscopes books. I'm trying to write a yearly horoscope book for next year, which I hope will be really great for you guys and to bring other people on board. So I don't know if I'll manage to finish it. It's a project and it's sort of going. Hope I'm going to finish that, but a lot on my plate at the moment. I'm sure everyone has, you know, that's just the way it is. Take care, guys. Thank you.